Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global How Things Today. We are so excited to have you again. Despite the anxiety and pressure Nigerians are going through in the area of Naira redesign and fuel scarcity, more issues are coming up that is tearing the country apart. Example, like one you're going to hear right now happening a faraway place like Aba, where the Abia State governor had to react immediately because with time it's going to translate into something very unthinkable. And it has to do with the Northerners coming up with the issue of, Emir of Aba Emirate Council. What again is this? That's the big question. Why is it that people don't just enjoy peace? Why is it that we don't allow peace to abound? Before we go into further discussion on what Nigerians have to say about it, let me give you full details of what just happened in about which the state government have rebuked with some very stern warning. According to the information, the Abba state government has sent stern warning to those allegedly behind the proposed installation of one Saki Shehu II as the Emir of Abba Emirate Council. A press statement signed by the secretary to the state government, Chris Ezem, said such proposal was strange, illegal, and has no authorization. The statement issued on Wednesday, February 8, 2023, read in part. It said that attention of government of Abia State has been drawn to a proposed coronation of one Saki Shehu Bello II as the Emir of Aba Emirate Council without recourse to government. Government wishes to warn all involved in the unauthorized and illegal coronation to stop forthwith or be prepared to face the full weight of the law. Government hereby direct the immediate cancellation of the proposed illegal coronation as there is nothing like Aba Emirate Council in the state. Government further warned all residents in the state, especially those residing in Aba, to be law abiding. Law enforcement agents have been directed to swing into action and ensure that no such events capable of bridging the existing peace in the state takes place in Aba or any part of the state. Interestingly, apart from that, another very serious issue had taken place in Kogi State, where the wife of Kogi State arraigned before the law court by the EFCC. For me, this is quite an interesting news, I must say. Now, according to the news, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) on Wednesday, February 8, arraigned Rashida, wife of Yahaya Bello, governor of Kogi, before Federal High Court in Abuja over alleged fraud. The anti-graft agency also arraigned Ali Bello, identified as a nephew to the Kogi governor. In a statement by Wilson Uwojaren, EFCC spokesperson, the agency said the duo were docked alongside three other persons on an 18-count charge bordering on criminal misappropriation and money laundering to the tune of 3,081,804,654 naira. Rashida is, however, said to be at large. The charge read in part that you, Ali Bello, Abba Daudu, Yakubu Shiyaka, Iyada Sada, Rashida Bello at large sometime in June 2020 in Abuja within the jurisdiction of the Honorable Court procure E-Traders International Limited to return the aggregate sum of 3.8 billion naira, which sums you reasonably ought to have known form part of proceed of unlawful activities to wit criminal misappropriation, and you thereby committed an offence contrary to section 18 subsection 115 subsection D of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended and unpunishable under section 15 subsection 3 of the same act. You Dadiu Ali Bello, Abba Daudu, Rashidi Bello at large sometime in November 2021 in Abuja within the jurisdiction of this Honorable Court procure E-Traders International Limited to transfer the aggregate sum of $570,330 to account number blah 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 domicile in TD Bank, United States of America, which some you reasonably ought to have known form part of proceed of unlawful activity to with criminal misappropriation, and you thereby committed an offense contrary to section 15 subsection 2D of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011 as amended and punishable under section 15 subsection 3 of the same act. The defendants, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge. I must say this is quite interesting. The governor's wife, this time around, have been dragged before the law court over, according to EFCC, an act which is, a criminal one for that matter. But the center of attention is this issue in Abia State, where some individual just wake up calling Aba an Emirate Council. My brother, we should stop looking for trouble now. Haba, which one is Aba Emirate? This thing. If you said Emir of Hausa community in Aba, it makes a great deal of sense. But for you to say Aba Emirate, how now? When did it start? When did you start having Emirate in a place like Aba now? Let us stop bringing up issues. And guess what? Same thing, according to some individual, had happened also in Cross River State in Calabar. If not for the fact that the monarch there, the Obong of Calabar, stood up and rebuked them immediately, it would have been a reality today. The same thing in Ilorin, the same thing also happened. And if you allow these things to continue like this, before you know, it would trigger an issue that we may not be able to fathom in the nearest future. Someone here says that he says, this same governor of Abia State is aligning with Wike, calling it G5 to support Tinubu Muslim ticket. Make Shetima and Tinubu win first. Una go hear them. And it is true, these are some of the things that we must try to protect. We must try to do to prevent, subduing some states, subduing some people. Already we have been properly mapped out. We know that there is a northern place called the northern hemisphere. I was talking about northern part of the country. It's a region. And we also have the southern region. And we know that most dominant in the north is actually the Muslims and also, the Hausas, the Fulani, and the likes. We also know the people that are down here. Let's not try to create an environment whereby we'll begin to run after each other's lives, and at the end of the day, it will turn out to be something that we cannot stand. Because I can assure you that you personally cannot go to someone's compound and begin to start building a house in another man's compound. It doesn't work that way. If you feel like building a house, go to where you are from or where you have purchased with your money. But to say you can walk into another person's compound and without the permission of the person start building a house, it doesn't work that way. Some people are actually for and some are against it, because based on the reaction I've seen here thus far, some people are saying that these things are obtainable also in Lagos. Someone here says, but you have Ezendibo in Kano, Kaduna, and Lagos. Another person here reacting to it, someone says, even in Ibadan. Someone reacting say, Ezendibo, not Ezendi Kano. He can be Emir of Ndi Hausa, not Emir of Aba. That was the same thing I was saying. You can call yourself Emir of a Hausa community in Aba, not to say Emir. Do you know what you're trying to do? You're trying to let the people they understand that there's a new culture that has been brought in, that whether you like it or not, you must accept it. And that culture has a controlling force over the Aba community, which it has never been. Those kind of things are stories for some strange God to understand, because it cannot stand in anybody's land. We need to wake up to all of these things and see how we can create an enabling environment for us all to stay in. Stop finding trouble. Trouble